I'll remove the clip we placed in the previous lesson by using the undo function, and I'll clear my in-point using the clear in-point option, so that my timeline doesn't contain an in or out point. And so now I'll show a few more functions concerning in-out editing. In the last lesson, we specified a region in our clip using the in and out points, and then we inserted it at the in point specified in our timeline. In effect, we have performed a 3-point edit. We can see that here is our first point, here is the second, and the third one is this one in the timeline. And so, I'll place the clip in the timeline with overwrite to timeline. I'll remove the clip and also remove the in and out points specified in the clip. Now, I'd like to show another possible configuration, this being that we specify 2 points in the timeline and not in the clip. And so we can see what happens when we do this. I'll do it at the end of the timeline so that we can clearly see what happens. I'll specify at any point the in point, and then somewhat later the out point. Maybe not quite this far, maybe here. And so our specified region is 6 seconds and 20 frames long. And if I now use the overwrite or insert to timeline function here by my clip, it's not important which for now, then the entire clip is not inserted into the timeline, but only the region defined in the timeline is filled with our clip. And if we look to see what was actually inserted from our clip, I'll jump to the beginning with the A key, then we can see, by checking the clip in the player window, that only the first part of our clip is inserted. To be precise, the first 6 seconds and 20 frames of our clip. This being the first section with the boat. I'll remove the clip again and define a somewhat longer region with in and out. So here I'll set my in point and my out point here. This is now 46 seconds. Now I'll insert again with overwrite to timeline. And we can see that a larger chunk of my material has been inserted. So we can see that when I define an in and out point in my timeline and insert a clip, then the length specified is filled up with content from my clip, and any extra material in my clip is ignored. I'll expand once more on this by defining another section in my timeline. This time, however, I will mark an in point in my clip at the point where the walrus appears. So here I'll mark in. And now I also have 3 points defined, 2 in the timeline and 1 in the clip. And now if I call up insert or overwrite to timeline and insert my clip, then only the section in the timeline between the 2 points is filled, but the region used in the clip starts at my mark in point. So using this method, you have a nice way to insert into a predefined region in the timeline the required video material. I can, of course, use this method to replace video material. I'll choose a clip. This one will do. And zoom in somewhat with Shift and the right mouse button. I'd like to replace this clip. And if I wish to replace only this clip, then I can use this by specifying the clip start point with a mark in, and at the end of the clip a mark out point. Now I'll find material that I want to replace the clip with. And I'd like to use this scene here. And so I'll set a mark in point here. In doing this, Edius knows that the clip should be used from this point on, and also how much of the clip should be used, which is defined by the region specified here. Now I can use the overwrite to timeline function, and this clip will be placed in the specified region. This means, of course, that the existing data is replaced. And so we can see that this is a more comfortable way of replacing clips than that which we have previously seen. This method gives me the possibility to define exactly what will be replacing the existing clip. This method also has other advantages, and we will come to them in following lessons. I'd like to add a few points. First, I'll undo and remove the mark in and out points from the timeline. As this method of defining the mark in and out points is important for various editing operations, there is a key command available to use. In fact, I can specify the in and out points of a clip by selecting the clip and using the Z key. So I select a clip from the timeline and press Z. And then the mark in and out points are created in the timeline at exactly the start and end points of the clip. If I select another clip, then press Z, then this clip is marked. In doing this, we have a fast way of replacing clips by selecting the clip to replace, pressing Z, and then locating the material I wish to replace the existing material with, and simply using the overwrite to timeline function to fill the region with the new clip. It is replaced.